What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and it's that vlog time once again. That's right. This is episode 38 of our Let's Vape vlog series, where we go over a number of different topics affecting me and the channel and the vaping industry as a whole. So we've got a pretty much full show for you guys on tap today, including some news and updates as per usual. We have some first impressions to do. We have some shout-outs and what I've been vaping on, of course. I do have a beer lined up for today. No vape mail this week, unfortunately, once again, but we will cap it all off with a random review. So with that, go ahead and grab a comfy chair, grab a frosty beverage if you want to, grab your favorite mod, sit back, relax, and let's vape. Alright guys, so starting off the show with some news and updates, but before we get rolling here, I just wanted to say I'm feeling fresh right now. I'm rocking the Mighty Vapors dad hat that they sent me, and not gonna lie, I am totally into the whole dad hat thing. I actually want some more of these things because, well, they're comfortable. First and foremost, they're comfortable. They just feel really nice when you're wearing them. I've been rocking snapbacks for so long, and those just tend to dig into my forehead that every time I take it off, I just have this big red mark there, and I just feel like less of the generic vapor with this hat on. And I don't know, maybe it's just more me, maybe I'm growing up, maybe I'm getting old, I don't know, but either way, totally gonna rock out some dad hats. I'm gonna seek some out. I know Ruby Roo has some, so I'm probably gonna pick one up from her. But with that, dad hats, what do you guys think? Dad hats versus snapbacks? Leave a comment in the box below. Other than that, I've also got this Digital Clouds hoodie on. I picked this up from my buddy Chad. Actually, he dropped it off to me at NVE in Foxwoods. Super comfortable, and I don't know if you guys could tell, but it's shiny. It's actually got some like glitter going on. You can really see it in person, but it's probably not going to come through on camera all that well. But yeah, Digital Clouds shiny gold hoodie. I'm totally loving it. Thank you, Chad, for giving this thing to me. It's super duper comfortable. So we are quickly approaching 25,000 subscribers, and I just wanted to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for everything. I really haven't done it enough lately, and I just wanted to just kind of pour my heart out to you guys and just say thank you so much for all of the subscriptions and the likes and the comments and just all the kind words from you guys. It just really means a lot to me, and I wanted to say thank you. So whenever we hit the 25,000 subscriber mark, I'll be doing a pretty darn big giveaway. I've got a whole bunch of stuff to give away. I got one of these like little drawers down here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but one of these whole little cubbies here is filled with stuff to give away, and it's actually overflowing. So with that, when we hit the 25,000 subscriber mark, I'll be doing a fairly sizable giveaway, and I'm going to probably spread it across all social media. So if you haven't already, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, join the Daily Vape TV Cloud Crew group on Facebook as well. And if you really want the inside scoop of what's going on, then you can become a patron as well. But yeah, 25,000 subscriber giveaway coming up very quickly, guys, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Mini rant time, guys. So this is something that has been kind of bothering me over the past couple of months, and just been building up in the back of my head, and I just wanted to just get it off my chest and just let it out there for you guys to hear. So first and foremost, it's the queue. Now, as it stands right now, whenever I get a product in, it goes on the queue. I have a whiteboard over here, and whenever I get a product in, it goes on the bottom of the queue waiting to be reviewed. Now, the Chinese companies that I deal with all know that my review queue tends to be at least 3 to 4 weeks long, and at some points it can be even longer than that. So to be fair, I just put them in line and they get to wait their turn, regardless of the status of the product. Now, this kind of brings me to my second point here, which is the Chinese sales reps and, you know, how they deal with American reviewers, etc. So a lot of these reps will change companies from time to time. They'll go to another company and pass on their list of people that they send product to the next person. Now, sometimes they don't get the same exact list. They might get an older version of it or something like that. And sometimes your name will get bumped off the list. So I feel like this has happened several times, and I've lost connections with some of these companies, which is really unfortunate. I know a lot of you guys want to see all of the latest popular hardware out there, but in certain cases, I don't have contacts with these companies. So there's really not much I can do other than just buy the product outright myself, which I am willing to do as long as I have my support from my patrons, and, you know, if I get my videos monetized, etc. I have a little bit of fun money to mess around with. So if there's a general consensus on a device that people really want me to take a look at, I'll actually go out there and spend the money on it and buy it. But other than that, sometimes I just don't get all of the hardware, which I really can't help and I really can't do anything about. And the last little part of this mini rant I've got for you guys is reviewers versus promoters. Now, this is a very touchy topic because I'm friends with a lot of reviewers and the line is basically being blurred at this point. Now, it's not necessarily the fault of the reviewers themselves, but it's more or less the Chinese industry pushing for quicker and quicker reviews. Now, a lot of the bigger reviewers will get products really, really early, and in that case, I can understand why they come out with the video maybe a week before or the same week that a product is released, but it's kind of coming to the point now that it's putting more pressure on these smaller reviewer channels to get their videos out quicker as well, and in that case, a lot of people are taking only a couple of days and in certain cases a couple of hours with product before they put out a video review of it. So you got to be really careful and cautious on who you trust in this market right now because there's just so much pressure to get those videos out soon. That's why as far as I'm concerned with my channel, I only do videos after a week of testing, minimum 1 week of testing. So as soon as you guys see me unbox a product on one of these vlogs, I start using it. Now, I may not get to that video for another couple of weeks, but I guarantee you guys for the week before that video comes out, I will be using whatever I review. So with that, I mean, I take my time with my videos, I make sure they're high quality, and I make sure I test them to my own kind of levels, and I really just want to put it through real world testing. I take my devices with me wherever I go, I throw them in my vape bag, I bring them home, I may have dropped them a couple of times by the time I get to the video, but you know what? It's all a part of the testing process. Basically, the point I'm trying to get at with this little rant here is I try to be as transparent with you guys as possible, just so you know the timeline of when things happen, when I get products in, when I test them, when I review them, etc. Just kind of shows you guys that I am 100% genuine, and if you ever have any questions about my process or anything like that whatsoever, feel free to email me or just DM me or whatever, just on any various social media, or you could just drop a comment right down there below. But I really encourage feedback here, guys. I really want to know what you guys think I should do as far as the queue is concerned, whether I should fast track certain products or just keep going in line in order that I receive them. So just let me know, just drop a comment right down there, email me, do what you got to do. All right, guys, so real quick, I just wanted to give you an update on the flavor survey that's being submitted to the FDA. Now, obviously, you guys know the importance of this by now. The FDA is trying to take away flavored e-liquids, and we have to be adamant in our position on flavors and how they helped us to quit smoking cigarettes. Now, with that, so far, we have, in the first 3 days, there's over 10,000 submissions, which is amazing. This has been going on for about a week now, and with that, it's probably well over that number by now, but 10,000 submissions in the first 3 days is amazing. With the goal of 30,000 plus, we are already a third of the way there, so that is something that's really should be celebrated. That is amazing, and we just got to keep it going, keep pushing, keep sharing the link out there to other vapors and other vape groups, etc., all over social media. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that there's only one survey allowed per IP address. Now, what this means is if your shop is offering some sort of discount or deal or something like that, if you complete the survey right there in front of them, then you can't be on their Wi-Fi, you can't use their shop computer. You would have to do that on your phone, on your cellular data, and submit it like that, because as far as the FDA is concerned, as far as the survey kind of taking software is concerned, it's going to recognize that same IP address if they've done that before, and it's going to basically void out any other surveys that have been completed there. And the last little thing I wanted to mention is do not turn away tobacco vapors from completing this survey. Their data is just as important as everyone else's because it's more or less about their habits before vaping and during their transition and since they quit smoking cigarettes. It's all data analysis and data logging, so their input is important as well. We want to just get every vapor involved with this survey here. Just spread that link as far and wide as you possibly can. Just get it into the vape groups that you're in and make sure everyone does this because it's super duper important. Once again, the link is right down there in the description below. Make sure you guys click that link and take that survey. It only takes about 10 to 20 minutes, so make sure you guys just get it done. Just a friendly reminder, we have Vape Stew going on every Friday night from 9 to 11 p.m. Central Standard Time or 10 to midnight Eastern Standard Time. We got me, we have Tenacious Texas Vapes, obviously, because it's on his channel. We have Demo Vapes and Mr. Just Right One himself on every single week. Last week we had Mike Vapes and Heavy Metal Vapor on. That was an amazing show. We talked about clones and a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So tune in every week. week, we're going to have more and more guests on. We're going to do giveaways, and I'd like to give a quick little shout out to our sponsor, Silverback Juice Co. Big shout out to those guys for helping us out, and we have a coupon code for them every single week. Make sure you check out the Vape Stew Crew group on Facebook. That's where the coupon code will be every single week, updated all the time. So with that, make sure you check out the Vape Stew show. Also, SAVs, obviously SAVs, a super awesome vape show. We do that every Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 7 to 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. And with that, we've got obviously myself, we have Chris from Empire Vape Co., we have Jay from Live Vape and Chill, and we have Mike's Mex. Again, we have a lot of guests on there as well. You'll often see the Vaping Postman and Vaping with Vic on the show. Plus, we have Dean, the Devil Vapor. Sometimes we get Tommy from Vape Finder on. That show is always a blast. I have a lot of fun on there, so make sure you check it out as well. We have a Facebook page. If you want to give that a like, I'll put a link right down there in the description. But yeah, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 7 to 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time every Sunday. Make sure you guys check that out. All right, guys, so first up in the first impression segment, we've got this guy right here. This is the hastur-mtl-rta-by-cthulhu-mods. Now, that is quite the mouthful there, and honestly, I have a really hell of a time getting that out there. But with that, it's a mouth-to-lung RTA, top fill, lots of adjustability as far as airflow is concerned. All the way from the tip at the top here, we have an adjustment little pin segment in the bottom of the build deck, and we have adjustable airflow on the base. So lots of different combinations of airflow that you can do with this thing here. Currently, I have it set up at 0.9 ohms, which I kind of want to rebuild it really soon to bring it up above 1 ohm. I built a 2.5 millimeter coil. Don't know what I was thinking. Should have brought it up to 3 millimeter because that is usually my go-to for mouth-to-lung devices. And with that, it's just a little tiny bit too low for my personal preference. I don't know what it is about mouth-to-lung vaping, but I prefer it over 1 ohm, at least 1 to 1.1 ohms. Maybe even 1.2. But with that, it's a little bit too low for me. I've got it set to 14 watts on the QIU 200 watt by Sanso, and it's a little bit on the warmer side. Now, I've been struggling with this one here because I'm not sure if it's the actual coil itself or if it's just the combination of airflows that I've got going on, but it's a little bit too warm and not quite too restricted, but almost too restricted. So I might actually have to bump up the size on the little piece below the build deck. So probably going to rip the build out of this one really soon before I get to my full review of it. And with that, it's been okay. It's been kind of an okay experience. The flavor on is top notch. I'm not going to lie. Flavor is really good on it. And the vapor production for a mouth to lung, it's not bad. So let's just go ahead and have a couple of vapes on it. So like I said, the flavor on this thing right now is fantastic, but the combination of airflows I've got going on right now is just not really doing it for me, so I'm going to have to rebuild it and dial it in just to my personal preferences before I get to my final review. So the next thing we're going to be looking at is this guy right here. This is the Snowwolf Vfeng. This is the dual bottle Squonk mod, which is really, really interesting. And for those of you that watched my Fresh Build Friday live stream, you know that I royally screwed up and just could not figure out a good way to build the Snowwolf RDA. Now, not a big fan of this dripper at all. So I kind of just put it off to the side. I've been using it with the Bonza on there and it's been rocking just fine. No complaints in that department whatsoever. Once I got it built up, this thing has been absolutely great. A couple little things. I mean, obviously it's big and it's chunky and it's really kind of unnecessarily large. There's a lot of corners on here, a lot of kind of sharp-ish edges and just really not my kind of style. It kind of looks like almost like a transformer or something like that, but kind of has that classic Snowwolf screen on there, the same exact one, as far as I can tell, to the Vfeng. So with that, it's all right. It's not bad. I like the interesting concept here behind the dual bottle Squonk system, because as of right now, I actually have two different flavors in here, which we'll talk about in just a second here, but I've got two different flavors in the Squonk bottles. So I can just squonk one side and fill it with one flavor, vape through it, and then squonk the other side, or a combination of either. So that is something that's really cool, really unique, and I'm definitely enjoying that. It's a single 21700 battery and it holds up pretty nicely. I'm not gonna lie, I use this thing all for the Vape Stew show and all day today at work, so it's pretty darn good on battery life, even at 84 watts. That's what I'm using it at right now with a 0.19 build, so not too bad so far. A couple things that kind of bug me a little bit, but overall I'm gonna say I'm kind of digging it. And last but not least, we have this guy right here. Now, no, it's not the blue e-cig, don't worry. This is from Naked. Naked actually came out with a disposable e-cigarette, and I like this concept here because I feel like it's going to be the wave of the future as far as gas stations and stuff like that are concerned. Convenience stores, gas stations, bodegas, all that stuff are probably going to be loaded with this sort of system in the very near future because it's just super duper convenient. It's basically the equivalent to about a pack of cigarettes, which is nice, and the cost is a little bit less, so not too bad as well. I also have another one, another disposable, and this is from the people that make the Miley. This is called the Stig. This is from Saltnik brand, and this is another pre-filled disposable throwaway sort of. You can't even really call it a pod system. It's more or less just like an e-cig. So about 200-300 puffs in this one as well. And these things are pretty darn neat. This one actually has a light at the end, which I'll show you in a second here. But there's really nothing to it. It's just a little plastic stick. And once it's gone, it's gone. There's no charging it or anything like that. I'm not sure if it's hackable. I know a lot of you guys are going to ask me if it's hackable. I'm not really sure at this point. I just got the thing and I don't want to crack it open and break it. But maybe once this thing is dead, I'll actually try to maybe hack it a little bit and see if we can refill it. But in any case, let's go ahead and have a couple of puffs on it. So as far as flavor goes on this thing here, I have the Brain Freeze version, which is strawberry, pomegranate, and kiwi with menthol. And I have had the real deal, the regular nicotine version of this on a dripper, so I know the flavor really well, and I can tell you this right now, this is a little bit disappointing because pretty much all I get out of this thing here is menthol. I really don't taste the fruit flavor at all, and I'm really disappointed with that because I was kind of hoping for that nice summery mix with a little touch of menthol, but unfortunately I get none of that. I get pretty much just straight menthol and no other flavors. So a little bit disappointing there, but you know what? At the end of the day, for 10 bucks or so, this thing is probably going to be a pretty good thing for newbies and smokers and people that just don't want the standard blue e-cigarette. They want a little bit of flavor. Naked has come out with something that's just that much different. All right, guys, so it's time for the shoutouts, but before we get to the emails, let's just quickly go over and check out the Patreon. And if you guys want to become a patron yourself, there's a link right down there in the description below. These people are amazing. They've decided to give me a couple of their hard-earned dollars, and I really do appreciate all the love and support. Let's just go right down the list here. First of all, Joanna S., Brett S., Jess S., Rowdy Rudy, Clown aka J, Dean S., Pete D., Ryan J., James F., Angela G., Brian J., and Christian C. So thank you guys all so much from the bottom of my heart. It really doesn't mean the world to me. Really do appreciate all the love and support from you guys, and you guys keep me going. So thank you so much for that. Let's just go over to the emails here real quick. Let's check out our first one. All right, so this is from Jessica, aka Ms. Panda. First of all, it says, I'd like to send a shout out to Pete, aka Mr. Panda, aka Vaping Panda Pete. 3/23/2018, we had a daughter, my 7th child, but his 2nd. He is an amazing father, stepfather, and boyfriend. Thank you, Jessica, aka Ms. Panda. Well, Pete, you have been officially shouted out, my friend. Thank you so much for the love and support. I guess I should call you guys the Pandas. Congratulations to you both. I've seen you guys all over the live streams, whether it be Vape Stew, whether it be Savs, my streams, and I'm pretty sure you both are members of my Cloud Crew group on Facebook as well. Thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for all the support. You guys really just mean the world to me. I love hearing these little stories here, and I love being able to shout you guys out. So shout out to you too, Jessica. Really do appreciate you sending this one in. Next up, we have Vaping with Ken. Vaping with Ken sent me an email, and it's pretty short and sweet. All it says is hashtag FWEEF. And if you guys don't know what that means, just check out the latest Vape Stew after show on JUUL's channel. That was an interesting one. Ken came up with a new term, and it's fweef. I'm not even going to explain it right now because it's a little bit too much for my channel. But with that, it says, shout out time! Less than 10 to 800. I'm pretty sure he's talking about subscribers here. Also, shout out to you, buddy. Well, thank you, Ken. I really do appreciate it. Vaping with Ken is amazing. He has a golden voice. I really want him to do voiceovers for my life and narrate my dreams. And Ken is just such a great guy. I want to give him a big hug. I'm going to fly out there and meet him because he just seems like such an awesome guy. I want to just have a beer with him. Vaping with Ken, you have been shouted out, my friend. Make sure you guys go check out his channel. Subscribe to him. He's 10 away from 800. That is amazing. It's just been an awesome opportunity to see you grow, Ken, and just see how far, your channel has come since I've known you in a few short months. But yeah, it's just been an amazing experience overall. And just a couple weeks ago we jammed out on the after show on guitar, and that was just awesome. Hopefully one day I'll get to come out there and meet you, or you can come out here and meet me. But yeah, I'd really love an opportunity to hang out with you, buddy. Shout out to you, Ken. Really do love your channel, and make sure you guys go show him some support. And the last one I've got says, hi Nick, it's Try Dark Zone, works with Jay in the Vape and Juice barking store over there in the UK. Could you do a big shout out to Mr. Chubby Tubby, LV Not a Shed C from Try Dark Zone for me? Well, yes, I officially have just done that. Shout out to you, Jay, and your Chubby Tubby loving ways. Thanks, buddy. I fancy a laugh when I get a phone call from him about it. All right. Well, Jay, there you go. There's your shout out for this week. And Try Dark Zone, thanks so much for submitting that because I got a good little chuckle out of it too. And he's signed Dark Zone, aka Dave. So that's all the shout outs I've got for you guys this week. If you want to shout out for yourself or someone you know, then just send me an email, dailyvapetv@gmail.com, and I'll get to it at some point on one of these vlogs here. Just tell me your name, a little bit about yourself, your vaping story, or who you want me to shout out, and I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. All right, guys, it's time to talk about what I've been vaping on this past week, starting off with this setup right here. This is the hastur-mtl-rta-by-cthulhu-mods on top of the QIU by Sanso 200 watt mod right here. I've got it set to a whopping 14 watts, and I'm vaping on... This is Defender from Lioness Elixirs from Vapor 9. Big shout out to Vapor 9 for giving me their sample pack over at NVE. That was really awful nice of you, and I really have been enjoying this stuff recently. This is a peach lemonade flavor with no added sweetener, so it's not going to gunk up your coils, and it's just a beauty to vape on. It's that fresh flavor that you really just don't get with stuff that has a ton of sweetener in it. Doesn't make my nose run, it doesn't make my eyes water or anything like that. Beautiful, beautiful stuff, and I really do highly recommend you guys try this out for yourself. But let's go ahead and have a couple of vapes on it. You know what? There's just something about mouth to lung that I am just so in love with right now. I cannot get it out of my head. I'm kind of back in the mouth to lung game, and I could not be happier with it. So yeah, that is the first setup I've got for you guys. The next one I've got is this bad boy right here. Look at this guy. This is the Recoil Rebel on top of the Purge Double Twisted, and wow. For those of you that watched the Fresh Build Friday live video, you saw me build this bad boy, and I gotta say, I have been loving it. This thing has been amazing. The flavor is out of this world on these coils. I've got some fused Claptons in here using Twisted Messes Canthal 27 gauge and 40 gauge, and it's just an amazing vape. It comes right in at about 0.35, which is right on the money, right where I wanted it to be, and not only flavor, but also cloud. So let's just go ahead and show you guys some clouds. Today I'm vaping on the Blaz Peach, the new one from Blaz, the peach flavor. Been rocking it since NVE and absolutely loving it. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased because it's my own stuff, but hey, link will be down there if you guys want to try it out for yourself. Make sure you use the coupon code DailyVapeTV for 20% off as well. But with that, let's go ahead and show you guys some clouds. So this is pretty much the exact opposite setup from the one I showed you previously, but I love it just the same. There's something about the ramp up time with a series mod and just the dense flavor and heat factor, just all kind of playing well together, and not to mention the fact that Blaz Peach is really just hitting the spot for me right now. So moving on, we have the Snowwolf Vfeng. Now, like I mentioned in my little first impression, I've got two different flavors rocking in this thing right now, and those are Trapaculata by Mayhem Vapor, and also Silverback Juice Company Lola. Now, Lola is a strawberry pomegranate something else. I forget what else is in there. There's another fruit though. Very like light, fresh kind of fruit tasting. And then the Trapaculata is pretty much a pineapple and coconut. So I'm basically just going for the ultimate summer beverage, you know, and it's really working for me. I've been kind of switching off. I've been squeezing both bottles at the same time, getting both flavors rocking in there at once. And no matter what combination I do, it is absolutely working. So rocking the Bonza on top of there that I built also on Fresh Build Friday Live. So let's just go ahead and take a couple of rips off this guy. So maybe it's just my disdain for New England winters, or maybe I'm just hoping for summer to get here quicker, but these two flavors are absolutely just rocking it for me right now. I absolutely love the fresh, fruity flavors, and the combination of the two is amazing. Also love the fact that the Vfeng, you can squeeze one bottle and get one flavor. You can squeeze the other bottle and get a different flavor, or both at the same time and just mix them together. And they do play really well together as well. So definitely check those flavors out, guys. They are absolutely delicious. And last but not least, my last full setup here is the Cali RDA by QP Designs on top of the RX2 21700, and this is actually my former series build that I was rocking on the Double Twisted before I built the Recoil Rebel, but now I have it on here at right around 90 watts, and it's pretty darn good. Honestly, it's just a little bit different. It's not quite the series heat and ramp up, but it is still really good because of the surface area. So the surface area alone is really just doing it for me as far as the flavor department goes. And speaking of flavor, we have Cali Vapors, and this one is their newest. It's called Golden Gate. We tried this one out at ECC at their booth, and oh man, it got better. It totally got better. The cream in it is on point right now. The orange flavor in it is very like natural to a point, but it's kind of like that straight up creamsicle flavor, or dreamsicle as they call it down south and out west. So it's just doing it for me. I don't know what exactly it is, but the cream and the orange just all really just play nicely together, and it makes for one hell of a good flavor. And again, let's just go ahead and have a couple of puffs. Oh yes, very, very good stuff here. Really love orange, and you don't really get to experience it that often in vape flavors without it tasting atrocious. Usually orange tends to taste like Robitussin or like Tic Tacs. This one tastes just like it should. It tastes exactly like an orange creamsicle. So with that, my last thing that I've got obviously is this guy here, the Naked little pen, the disposable e-cig if you will, the Brain Freeze flavor, strawberry pomegranate and kiwi with menthol. And let's just go ahead and have a couple of puffs on this one. Yeah, I'm still a little bit disappointed with this thing here. I'm not getting anything but the menthol. Hopefully it gets a little bit better as I break it in a little bit, but you know, you got kind of a puff limit with this guy here, only 300 puffs. So I'm kind of hoping that by the end I start to get more of that fruit flavor. So that's what I've got rocking this week, guys. All the links to all the products are right down there in the description below. You guys know what time it is. It's Beer O'Clock, my favorite segment of the vlog, where we get to try out a lovely craft beer and pair it up with a nice e-liquid. And before we get started, I do have a little bit of an announcement to make. I am planning a beer special episode, an entire episode dedicated to nothing but craft beer and beer pairings. And I will have some sort of voting system probably right here in the community tab on my channel so that you can vote on what we should be drinking during that vlog. So with that, keep an eye on that when it gets a little bit closer. But I I am also planning on having a special guest with me. That's right, I'm going to have someone else on my channel. It's going to be Dan the Beer Man. Yeah, the guy himself behind all of these lovely craft beers that he's been giving me to try out over the past couple of weeks. And once again, he has gifted me something amazing. This is another one from Tired Hands Brewing Company. Don't worry, don't adjust your screens or anything like that. This is how the label just looks. This one is called Things Behind the Sun. This is from Tired Hands Brewing Company from Ardmore, Pennsylvania. Right. Things Behind the Sun, it's an American double IPA coming in at 8.3% alcohol by volume. And there's nothing really else about this as far as flavor notes or anything like this. It says the availability is limited. It's only been brewed once. So this is something very special, and I really just can't wait to get into it. So let's just go ahead and do that, shall we? Let's just crack her open. Ah, yes. Love that sound. We have our fancy glass here, as always. Let's give it a pour. A nice hazy orange, which is exactly what you would expect out of a double IPA. We have a good head on there right now. Lots of little tiny bubbles. A fairly white head as well. Nothing really too fancy or special about that. Kind of to be expected, if you will. Very hazy, very orange, a little bit darker than usual, which is probably because it's a double, you know. Usually double IPAs are a little bit on the darker side. Some decent legs on there as well. It's kind of sticking to the side of the glass. Very nice lacing. And let's give it a whiff here. Not a heavy scent, but what I'm smelling is kind of interesting. Little bit of hops, not too crazy on the hop factor with this one. There's something else I can't put my finger on. It's kind of a woody flavor. Again, I got the same thing from Alien Church. I'm not sure what that is exactly. And that lingering kind of alcohol smell to it. I can definitely sense that. So anyways, let's go ahead and have our first sip. So the first little inkling of flavor I get is kind of interesting because I kind of get like a very light note of flavor, but it lasts. And I would have to say it's like a berry flavor, almost like a strawberry, something like that. And then it has a very just smooth kind of middle section, just smooths out over the palate, just kind of a vanilla-y sort of flavor. I would almost say like an orange creamsicle, but I really don't get a lot of the citrus notes in this one. It's more of just like a cream. And the ending flavor is kind of what I was smelling earlier, which is like that woody sort of flavor. It's very dark and very earthy, but I'm going to have to take another sip here and kind of guess that one. So the last note of flavor that I get, just the last thing that rolls over your tongue, is kind of a very dark, earthy, sort of woody kind of flavor. And I know that sounds really weird, but I would kind of describe it as like a chalky sort of sensation, almost like a dark chocolate, something like that. A real rich, like cocoa powder sort of flavor. And that taste kind of lingers as well as that berry flavor that you get with the beginning here. So really, really interesting one. Honestly, not what I was expecting whatsoever from a double IPA, but you really don't get a lot of the alcohol burn as well. I like a little bit of burn, which it does have, but it doesn't have that real stingy kind of burn, and it's very, very overall smooth, and I kind of attribute that to that middle kind of note of flavor, that sort of cream flavor going on. So one more little sip here, and then we're going to pair it up. So this is going to be a tough one to pair. I'm really not sure exactly what to pair it up with. My first thought was probably going to be the Tropiculata. Now, I just kind of want to like match that sort of creamy sensation with that middle note and then just accentuate some of the fruit with some of that pineapple. Maybe it'll just give it that little bit of zing, and hopefully I'm right with this one because I really want this to work well. So I'm just going to dry off my cotton real quick and just going to drip it over the top just so I get the cleanest flavor possible here, and then we'll just try it out. So this one is kind of an interesting pairing because, like I said, it kind of reminds me of a Neapolitan ice cream, and now I'm getting sort of Neapolitan ice cream with an added layer of cream, like a whipped cream kind of thing, and then a dollop of pineapple sauce or something like that on top. The pineapple really does stick out in my mind here. It really just doesn't meld well with the flavor of the beer, but at the end of the day, it kind of adds that extra layer of flavor, which is really quite interesting. It adds another kind of dimension to it, and it adds a nice kind of like tropical factor to it. So let's just go ahead and try this out one more time, and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts. So one thing I really like about this flavor pairing is how the coconut flavor pairs well with the sort of dark chocolate, earthy, chalky kind of aftertaste flavor. It just melds together and adds a little bit of sweetness just to kind of sweeten up that real dark kind of bitter chocolate taste, and just adds another layer of flavor on top of it. The pineapple kind of kills off that strawberry flavor, not gonna lie, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this pairing. I really do like this beer. It's very interesting, and I really do recommend you guys try it out if you get the opportunity to. Once again, this one was Tired Hand Brewing Company, Things Behind the Sun, and yeah, really good stuff, guys. All right, guys, so wrapping things up with a random review. Today, we've got this stuff right here to take a look at. This is Cali Vapor's Golden Gate, their latest and greatest. And if you guys watched my ECC vlog, you saw me take a first little look at this stuff right when it dropped. And I gotta say, they have absolutely perfected this one. Taking a look online, the flavor description reads, Golden Gate by Cali Vapors is a mouth-watering mix of vanilla ice cream and sweet orange flavor, reminiscent of an orange creamsicle frozen treat. And that's pretty much obvious when you look at the bottle here. It shows a creamsicle, an orange, and a dollop of vanilla ice cream. So with that, let's just go ahead and try this one out. I've got it loaded up right now in the Cali RDA. I'm once again rocking a Cali setup. Yeah, I just don't know how that happens. It just always ends up happening. So let's go ahead and have a couple of puffs off this one. All right, guys, so I've got to say this right now. This is as close as you can possibly get to the real deal. Honestly, it tastes like they just melted down a whole bunch of creamsicles and put it into a bottle. You cannot get closer than this. When it comes to an orange flavor, it is absolutely top-notch. Orange, you know, usually reminds you of Robitussin or Tic Tacs or some other kind of random flavor like that. This is absolutely 100% spot on. I am very impressed with Cali Vapors on this one here. They have just outdone themselves once again. Just, I mean, it's amazing. Honestly, guys, if you love orange and you love creamsicles, then you have to try this flavor out. It is super duper accurate to the real deal, and if you like creamsicles, you will absolutely fall in love with this e-liquid. I've almost gone through the entire bottle. Honestly, I probably only have about maybe 15 mils left, and I only got this in the other day, so as far as that goes, I don't think I've ever gone through this much liquid this quickly, but yeah, let's go ahead and have another couple rips. You know what I really love about Cali Vapors besides the flavor? It's super clean. They don't use a ton of sweetener. I've been rocking the same coils and cotton since I first started this bottle, and these things are absolutely mint. So as far as I'm concerned, that is a big factor for me personally, because whenever I vape stuff with a ton of sweetener in it, my eyes water and my nose runs, and it's just kind of like, it just irritates me. So Cali Vapors is super duper clean, and I can really appreciate that because I hate changing my cotton out every 2 days. So another couple of rips and then we'll sign out. Alright guys, so that about does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Big shout out to you guys in the notification squad for getting here early. Also, leave me some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on any of the topics that we talked about in this video. Also, make sure you check out the advocacy and my social media links right down there in the description below. Join the Facebook group, Daily Vape TV Cloud Crew, for all the latest and greatest updates on everything that's going on with me and the channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on.